Hello folks, I'm Dan. We're continuing with the C-frame press build for the 701 project. And what I've got is my bed channel set out here, 2-foot length of 4-inch channel iron. And we're going to make the rivet plate that screws down to the top of it. Let me get this down here so you can see what's going on. And this is 3/8 by inch and 3/4 1018 cold roll, which standard cold roll will work fine. It's what I had in stock, that's why I'm using it. So what we're going to do is lay out the 3 holes that are going to go in it. In the center there's going to be a number 12 letter drill that will hold our rivet die, and then we're going to drill at number 7 so we can tap them 1/4 on each end to hold that plate in place. And what we're going to do is just lay it out, then we'll clamp it up and set it up in the mill and go ahead and punch our number 12, our number 7, number 7, and we'll do those, I'll clamp them together, we'll do those all at once. Then we'll pull those off so we can tap those 2 holes, and we're going to open these up to 3/8 and a 1/2 inch hole right in the middle where the rivet die is going to go. So and I'll explain that later. So that's all we're doing is laying it out. This is just stock I had in hand. The original one that I built was 1/2 inch by 1 inch, 1/2 inch thick, and it spanned not quite the full length. It was on a 5-inch channel. And I ran it closer to the front edge so you had more throat. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to run it back, probably, do we only want to go 1/2 inch? Let's go 3/4 of an inch. And that'll be our center line for all of those. Scribe our line there. And then we want our center line right in the middle of that. So that should be a 4-inch piece. It's awful close to a 4-inch piece. So 2 will be our center line, and we want to go 1 inch on either side of that. Which it doesn't really matter once you got the center line. The digital readout on the mill will lay out the rest of it if you're doing it in your drill press. Why then lay out all 3 cross lines. And we'll mark that right there. And that'll be our center point. And what I'm going to do is just clamp that in place. So it's centered up. There again, nothing precision as we build it, why we'll hold everything in alignment. Let's see if we clamp this a little bit farther in than just centered. And that'll give us room for all of our holes. And that takes care of the layout for our first 3 holes. Quick and easy. This will be a simple project. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move it over to the milling machine. We'll set it up there and get the holes drilled. Alright, we've got it set up in the mill. We've locked our x-axis. And we're going to spot the center hole. The spotting drill is too short to reach around both sides of the clamp, but I think we can spot the center hole. And we'll call that good. Okay, now we're going to punch a number 7 hole through there. No, excuse me, that's a number 12 hole. Now we'll punch this number 12 hole through it. And we'll go all the way through the channel and the Now that's the first hole to accept the die heads for your rivet sets. And now we're going to go 1 inch over. So lock that in position. And now we want to put a number 7 hole in each of those, which is the tap hole size for a 1/4 20. Back to the other side and do the same thing. And what I'll do is just start them this way. I won't go all the way through because I don't need to tap the channel, and all I'm doing is getting them started straight. And that gets me a couple of threads started that way, which is all I really need. Now I'll take this off, we'll go back to the bench, then I'll finish tapping these and get it ready to go on. While we're still set up in the middle, I want to drill this out with a 3/8 drill, and that'll give us our clearance and give us enough room so we've got a little bit of adjustment. Center hole we're going to open up with a 1/2 inch. And that's all the actual machine work that we need to do on this. We've got our clearance holes for our 1/4 20 bolts, so we've got a little bit of adjustment in that plate. We've got a clearance hole, which is a 1/2 inch through here. I'm going to use that 1/2 inch as a alignment point to align the overarm for the bushings in the overarm. So that way we're sure we've got that aligned. Anyway, let's go back over to the bench and we'll deburr this stuff and clean it up a little bit more. Get our holes tapped around some edges, and this portion of it will actually be done. Okay, we've got our channel all drilled and our top plate is tapped. We'll clean it up. We've countersunk these. I'll powder coat them as well once we're all said and done. But anyway, here's our top piece. There's the way our rivet set sits in there. And they just set in. I believe on my first one I wanted a little more height on it. I built a little extension, which was a simple lathe job. This fit into the end of it just like it would a ram, and then I cut a groove on there so it sat right in place, and then this actually sat on top of it. Whether it's necessary or not on this one, I don't know. I've lightly broken those corner edges so we don't have a sharp edge. And let's stick a couple of bolts in here. I may have to shorten up bolts. I've got an extra washer on these too, just to get a little more clearance on them. But these are the shortest one that were in my bolt bin. Set in there like that. We've got some adjustment for it so we can center this underneath our ram. Just a little bit of extra adjustment. And when they're tightened down in place, why they'll be secure, it won't move, and it'll hold alignment underneath the arm. So that's where we'll leave this section of it. Bed channel is done, and I added a couple extra holes here, which I'll show what I'm planning on for those later. This part's all done up here. There again, we can radius these edges a little bit more, although I've already broken the corners on them. Next, we will go ahead and we're working on the cartridge that's going to hold the oil light bushings to guide the ram in them, and I've got a couple ideas for that. I'm still working out an easy solution so most anybody can do it, not, you know, if you don't have a lathe or access to one readily to turn out a complete cartridge. I'd like one to be pretty easy for you to build. So I'm working on that yet, and next time we'll work on that and the rest of the frame assembly, and we may get it finished up in one more part, you know, one or two anyway. But if you find these videos helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. If you hit that bell icon, why, you'll know when I put out a new video. And thanks for taking the time to watch.